station. This is KTRH Radio. How do you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. How about us?
You guys sound terrific.
Thanks. It's good to talk to you. Welcome aboard the International Space Station.
It is Matt Patrick and Lois Melkonian from KTRH in Houston. First thing we want to say is go Aggies. I understand we have quite a connection.
Oh, we've got the Aggie connection going up here for sure. I, of course, am an Aggie grad and an Aggie dad, and Ron Guerin is an Aggie dad himself. So, we've got all kinds of Aggie spirit up here.
How much Aggie clothing did you bring with you up to the space station?
Oh, boy, that is really a loaded question. There happens to be a lot of maroon in my clothing selection.
Mike Foss and Ron Guerin, it is great to talk with you guys. Listen, is there a different mood on board right now with the U.S. space flight? It's on hold and the next flight not coming in for a couple of years. Is there a different kind of a mood? And, of course, you've got the folks in Clear Lake that are a little, I don't know, I guess the mood is a little more somber. Do you feel that there, or are you looking forward to the days ahead?
Well, yes to both questions. We definitely feel it up here. This is a very difficult, challenging transition period for not only us as a nation, but also the entire international space program, space station program, and then particularly felt in those places around the country that are involved in the space program, like Clear Lake. So there's a lot of feelings involved. There's a lot of things to think about on that. The way we like to look at it, though, is that we're closing the chapter on one part of our history, but we're opening up a new chapter. It's going to take us a little while, though, to get going in this new chapter. This new chapter will hopefully see us leaving low Earth orbit and starting to really explore the solar system.
Ron Guerin, Mike Fossum, as you look at Expedition 28 and you're represented by the U.S., by Russia, by Japan, what is it like in the space station in terms of just language issues, relational issues?
Yeah, Lois, I'm glad you brought that up, because not only is this place the stepping stone to exploration beyond the low Earth orbit, not only is it going to make life better on planet Earth, it's also a shining example of international cooperation. It's amazing to see what this international partnership has accomplished up here on orbit, and to think that if we can do this on orbit, imagine what we can do to solve the problems facing our planet. But, on board, we're an international crew. We primarily speak English. However, we do speak Russian to our Russian crewmates, to the mission control in Moscow. We have a Japanese crewmate with us on board, and he occasionally, if he needs to, for technical reasons, he'll speak Japanese to the control center in Japan. This is the wave of the future. I think we're going to be able to do great things working together as an international partnership.
Yeah, this is Mike with you. I think for me, my favorite place to go is a little cluster of windows that's on the bottom part of the space station, and we affectionately call it the cupola. It's a fairly late addition to the space station. It was not here the last times I've been here, but it is a marvelous view of not just the world, the Earth as it's rolling by at 5 miles a second, but it's also really neat to be able to see the stars, because we have kind of a sideways view out of this cluster of windows, so you can see the stars hanging above the Earth. This morning I got up early and went to take a look, and there was the Aurora Borealis kind of shimmering in the distance, and that was a really neat time to just relax a little bit. I had a little bag of coffee with me, and kind of collect my thoughts and get ready for the day.
Now, who else carries a bag of coffee instead of a cup? Mike, thanks so much for that. Mike and Ron, we're talking to you. We understand you're quite the spacewalk team. How do you become a spacewalk team?
Hey, I think for us it's just a lot of hard work and even more good luck. We flew together on STS-124 3 years ago, and actually we're standing in the Japanese laboratory right now, and Ron and I did the spacewalks associated with adding this laboratory to the complex up here. So we did 3 spacewalks with 124, and then shortly after we got back home, Ron got into the space station training flow, and then I was lucky enough to join him a few months later, and as luck has it, we're here together, and they needed a little work done. They knew who to call, and as we said, we're putting the band back together.
All right. Well, that leads me then to my next question, which I didn't know if I was going to ask or not, but I watched the Peter Frampton video, and Ron, I saw you talking with Peter Frampton, who I have met on a few occasions. Nice guy. And you said that you did bring Frampton Comes Alive up to the International Space Station. I'm going to call you on that right now. Is that indeed true, or were you just kind of placating Peter Frampton and that San Francisco audience?
No, it is definitely true. And as a matter of fact, in that clip, he showed a picture of that CD in orbit. And music is a really interesting thing to talk about up here because this is a very sterile environment. All you hear is, pumps and fans. It's really, really nice to be able to listen to music because, it really gives you a connection to your home planet, if you will. I mean, it really is a nice connection. And it's really surreal to think about, looking at the Earth and seeing this beautiful planet while you're listening to beautiful music and have that connection with the Earth. It's really almost indescribable.
I know we have to wrap this up, but I've got to ask what you think of yourselves. I know you've called yourselves human guinea pigs, and you're working on the human body, biology, physics, materials. You're doing cutting-edge experiments that will really influence many of us for years and decades to come.
That's part of the reason why we do what we do here. We realize that this is an opportunity for us as not just a nation, but us as a species, as humanity, to improve our lot, to improve our planet, to improve the way we live. There's experiments that we're doing on board that I think will lead to better ways to provide clean water, better food, better medicines, better materials. The list goes on. And to be a part of that and to be working with all those thousands of people, not just across the nation, but around the world, this is a pretty big deal. This is something that's going to change the world, and to be a part of that is just an absolute honor. And if that means that sometimes we got to donate some of our blood to throw it in the freezer for evaluation back on the Earth, and that's a small price to pay because it's really an honor and a privilege to do this.
Mike Fosson, Ron Guerin, thank you so much for the time from the International Space Station. From all of us here at KTRH, back on Earth, have a safe trip home. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Lois. It was great talking to you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes the event.